Today's episode is brought to you by Donor Perfect fundraising software, where empowering nonprofits to succeed isn't just a mission, it's what matters most. Donor Perfect is excited to introduce a resource that's as bold and inspiring as the women leading the change in nonprofit organizations, the Nonprofit Leadership Workbook for Women. This free ebook is designed to help you define your leadership vision, refine your goals, and unlock your potential, whether you're just starting your nonprofit career or looking to level up your impact. Packed with actionable insights, expert advice, and empowering exercises, it's your go-to guide for navigating challenges and amplifying your voice. It's time to step into the leader you're meant to be. Download the Nonprofit Leadership Workbook for Women for free at donorperfect.com/workbook and take your leadership to the next level. Hey there, burnout warriors. Okay, we're going to talk today about building a community that's stronger than any to-do list, okay? Listen, and I have some strong to-do lists. Because let's face it, friends, we're all in this too busy to breathe boat together, and it's time we start rowing in sync. Dun, 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 dun. If this is the first time you are tuning in, I'm your host, Kashana Palmer, CEO of Management and author of Busy is a 4-letter word, a guide to achieving more by doing less. And just as importantly, I'm a recovering workaholic turned wellness warrior. And today we are talking about something we've all been guilty of neglecting. Our people, friends. That's right. Your tribe, your squad, your circle, your crew. By the end of this episode, you'll leave feeling ready to trade your too busy excuse for intentional connections that feed your soul. So get cozy, grab your coffee, and if you're outside, come on, lace up, and let's do this. So listen, friends, it takes a village, okay, to keep you sane. So I want to talk a little bit about why your community is your secret weapon. And before I get started, for those of y'all who are like, I don't need people, I don't like people, people are schmeeple of people, you need people, okay? I just want you to know. Your to-do list will always be there. But you know what won't? You know who won't? Time with your people who love you. Your community is the secret sauce that keeps you grounded, sane, and yes, even happy. So let's think about this for a second. Now, I'm a girl's girl, okay? A woman's woman, if you will. So I always have friends. Wherever I go, my child is like, Mommy, you make friends wherever you go. Is there anyone that is not your friend? Yes, there are lots of people who aren't my friend. But, that's a very small list. So when was the last time you put a call a friend on your to-do list? When was the last time you did that? Call a friend. When was the last time that task made it to your to-do list? Studies show that strong social bonds are linked to longer lifespans, lower stress levels, and increased resilience. Translation, your squad is your self-care secret weapon. Hello? So one of the things I've been thinking a lot about is how to maintain relationships when life's crazy busy. Now, I, over the last year and change, have had a ridiculous amount of life change. My baby went off to college. I moved halfway across the country. My business damn near tanked. I had to restart a whole lot of stuff. I owed everybody in the kitchen sink money because of the decisions I made when my business was floating. I put my faith in people I shouldn't have. And the business is back on up and up. Boop, 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 boop. And my team stuck with me through it all. Shout out to them. But I know I had not been a good friend. I have canceled on dates last minute. I have said I was coming to places I didn't want to come. I just didn't call or call back. I was in a funk and didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want anybody to say, "Oh, I understand, I hear you, I feel so bad." I don't want to know. I need results, and results last year was I need cash. But either way, the point is that I know that moving my whole life to a different part of the country came with it a whole set of unexpected changes. I don't know what I thought was going to happen. I knew I was moving to a new city where I had lots of business colleagues and, loose friend connections. And then my besties lived here and also my favorite cousin. And, I said, okay, I'm rolling. I'm going to have a crew. I have at least half a dozen women that I know for a fact will do anything at a drop of a dime. Well, lots of dimes dropped, but we didn't do nothing. Okay? I didn't go anywhere. I didn't do stuff. Folks ain't come visit. There's folks who haven't seen my house yet, who I was super close to. And I realized that I was getting very resentful of this whole word community. What the hell does that mean when you are drowning and nobody can see? Even when you are flailing and people say, "Oh, look at her. She's doing a swan." What is that? It looked like I was doing synchronized swimming, y'all, when I was drowning. Okay? My swan song was going down. And so I had to really rethink how I view community, what community means. I realized that out in the social world that I had lots of followers, but not a lot of community. Woo-woo. I had to come to that realization, y'all. And so I realized that even though my friends were used to me having this super busy life, when I wasn't busy anymore, nobody noticed. Even when I said I wasn't. And then I realized, I gotta restart this whole friendship thing. This is wild. So what did I do? Started small. First started with a quick text. Silly stuff. Little things I saw on the Talkity Ticks and the Grammy Instas. Even if it was something silly, I would say, "Hey, I thought of you today when I saw this meme." Boom. Easy. Then I started to step up. Planning quality check-ins. So one of my best friends, we actually have now a monthly get together on the calendar. Now, granted, she suggested it, not me. So shout out to Ashwa for that. Because she was like, "Girl, what you doing with yourself? I don't see you. I don't hear from you. You live down the street. I saw you more when you lived in New York. This is ridiculous." So life was hard. And then life was busy because I was trying to get it unhard. Is that a word? Yes. Soften it. And I was overthinking it. And so my thought process had to get to, don't overcomplicate it. A monthly call or a coffee hang is all it takes. And something I'm telling you that I had to tell myself, your laundry pile can wait. Yikes. I definitely did not leave the house a few times because of laundry. Ask for help. Guilt-free. We've all been there. Afraid to ask for help because we feel like we need to have it all together. People are used to me having it all together. But here's your reminder that strong people can lean on their people. And you might have an ask that someone actually can't meet. And it's not an indictment of your relationship. Life is lifing for them too. So that's why you got to stay in concert with folks, even in the small stuff. You got to keep that song going because that's how you stay connected. And I cannot tell you how liberating it was to say out loud, "I have not been the best friend I could be." Or, "I was drowning and I had to figure out how to save myself." Or, "You can come visit me, right? Actually, I'm the one who pretty much maintains our relationship. And I don't want to do it anymore." Or, shifting from "I can do it all myself" to shamelessly saying, "Hey, can somebody help me? Open this jar, hang up this curtain, move this pillow, keep me company, help me with my closet," whatever. Asking for support isn't a weakness, it's a superpower. And I think we get it twisted that we're supposed to do everything ourselves. And for me, that comes from being hyper independent because I had to. Because the last time I leaned on someone, it didn't work out for me. And so I decided, well, you know who I could bet on? Me. And yet, that ended up being my kryptonite. Because over time, if you constantly move in a way that says to people in your circle that you don't need help, then they'll start to treat you that way. So I had to move from being a little bit of a lone wolf over the last year back to my pack leader status. So this is kind of like around a journey of prioritization, my friends. For years, I was the I got this, I got it, I got it. I was the I got it girl. Every plate was spinning, every ball was in the air, and I rarely dropped a ball. But here's a spoiler alert. Baby, that was not sustainable. I was an angry so-and-so. You hear me? Angry. Because I felt like I was showing up for everybody in my life, even and especially at my own expense. Even when I know sometimes they didn't ask me for it. Because the guilt of not showing up, just in case I ever needed them to show up, drove me. Oh, y'all, honey. So my shift over the last, I would say, 16 months or so, shifting away from always doing to just being able to savor the moment, to sit with some things, to build my life around moments of joy with the people I love, to be intentional about cultivating relationships. In fact, my word for this year is cultivation. It's cultivate. It's cultivating. It's all of the isms of the cultivate. Why? Because I realized that I had to get back to the basics of cultivating relationships. Whether it's cheering for my daughter at her competitions or celebrating my cousin's milestone birthdays, I've learned that building a fulfilling life means showing up for others and for yourself. So this week, I'm going to challenge y'all with something. This week's challenge. I challenge you to ditch the too busy excuse. And I want you to just reach out to one person in your life, even if it's been a while, okay? Start small, but start somewhere. Because here's the truth. No one on their deathbed has ever said, oh God, I wish I spent more time at the office. No, not ever. So I want you to make time this week. Ditch too busy. Reach out to one person in your life. So I said that my word for this year is cultivate. Cultivate, cultivating, cultivation. I'm doing all the batings, all the things. So I want us to talk a little bit about cultivating your circle. Quality over quantity. So one of the things that I realized in figuring out how to reassert community was that I was treating everybody with pretty much the same level of high quality care. So I want y'all to imagine your circle like visiting you at home. And I want you to picture your kitchen table. Your kitchen table is where all the magic happens. Where you sit, you have your cup of coffee, you sit and you talk, you have your glass of wine, and you put your heads together and you do all the things. And I was treating people who really belonged on my front lawn with the same level of care as people who sit at my kitchen table. And so the result was that whether you sat at my kitchen table, the front room, the front porch, or on the lawn, you were getting the same level of care, except you didn't know everybody didn't deserve that same level of care. So it left me burnt out, stressed out, and stretched out. And folks are looking at me like, wait, what? You don't want to give me any more of yourself? No? So I had to say out loud, and I'm giving you permission to say out loud, that not every relationship is good for you. Your community should lift you up and not weigh you down. Quality over quantity is the name of the game. So if you have been thinking that you need to clean up on all five, I'm inviting you to clean up your community. I want you to audit your connections. Ask yourself, who in my life feeds my energy? And who drains it? Ugh. I want you to curate your inner circle. Because sometimes it's not about cutting ties, but about creating boundaries. Then you get to focus on nurturing relationships that affirm your goals and values. And I don't mean you need to surround yourself with folks who think exactly like you, unless they're thinking it's dangerous, in which case, beat it, pals. But I do want you to think about nurturing relationships with people who see you. And then I want you to try to appreciate the little things. A quick coffee catch-up can be just as impactful as a big night out. And honestly, you'd probably be less tired. I just want you to know. Intentionality matters more than the grandeur of the situation. And I love grand things, y'all. Okay, I love fancy. I love sparkle. I love all of the things. I want to twirl, wear heels. So I just wear heels for coffee and be just good about it. And back home in my safe space, having had a good time with said friend, and I can still make it to get my quality 5.5 to 6 hours of sleep. Okay? What's the takeaway? Keep it simple. Make a list of 3, maybe 4 people you want to reconnect with, and schedule time with them this month, whether it's virtual or in person. But in person's better.
And now, a word from our sponsors at Donor Perfect Fundraising Software, the trusted partner that empowers nonprofits to do more good with less stress. Your mission deserves more than just a tool. It deserves a system that simplifies your daily tasks, keeps your team on the same page, and helps you raise more to make a bigger impact. That's where Donor Perfect comes in. From donor management to online giving, reporting to planning, Donor Perfect has everything you need to streamline operations and grow your community of supporters. Plus, their expert resources help you stay ahead of fundraising trends so you're always ready for what's next. Why wait? Head over to donorperfect.com/start and see how Donor Perfect can help you achieve more faster with confidence.
So, social media. Can we talk about that for a second, y'all? Is it connection building or comparison building? Can y'all be real with me for a second? How many times have you scrolled through your Instagram feed and felt worse about your life? Don't worry. If you said 11 times, you're not alone. Social media has blurred the lines between genuine connection and superficial scrolling. But, as evidenced by a couple of my really, really, really good friends, it can be a tool for good if you set boundaries. So, what are some social media habits, healthy ones, that can help you to build community and work on your community wellness and well-being? So first things first, and this I definitely do, engage with purpose. Instead of just liking someone's post, DM them and actually spark a conversation. Remember, we're going for real connections over mindless scrolling. And if you need help with that, go back to my episode that talks about your mental wellness and well-being and your spiritual wellness and well-being, because there's a challenge in there in either of those episodes that'll help you with that. Next, I want you to unfollow with intention. Protect your energy by unfollowing accounts that make you feel insecure, inferior, or just less than. Like, I don't follow anybody, anything that makes me feel bad about myself. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's driven by my own stuff or their stuff or the stuffity stuff. I'm out. Because I just don't have enough time in my day to feel bad about myself. I can do that on my own without any intervention from anybody else. I do not need outside influence to feel bad, okay? So unfollow with intention. Oh, somebody's life is bigger than life and is making you feel like crap about your life? Delete, unfollow. You're going to have to readdress, and you're going to have to address, and you're going to have to really get into why that is. But there's lots of tools to help you with that, including my book. Okay. And then I want you to think about creating, not just consumption. Share authentically. And by that I mean, we don't need your post to be your personal diary. The journaling really is private. Okay. But your social posts can encourage connection rather than competition. Really allowing you to reach out to folks who might say, yo, you see me. I thought I was the only one dealing with that. Let me give you a call. So I have a quick question for you. Is your social media feed a community or is it a comparison trap? And I want you to take a moment to evaluate that today. Because remember, as we're building this 5-star wellness, your community wellness and well-being, that's that 5th point on the star. And it has to be strong Otherwise, your star is going to be a little soggy. Okay? It's going to limp. So, the Reach Out Challenge. Your mission, should you choose to accept it. I said a little earlier, I dare you, yes, dare you to reach out to one person this week. And I'm not talking about a like on their post, my friends. And I'm definitely not talking about a vague group text. Love you, miss you, mean it. No. Make it personal. Call them, meet for coffee, or even just send a thoughtful message. One of the things that I love to do is send random cards to people throughout the year. And anybody who's ever been on the receiving end of a random card from me knows. They'll be like, what was this for? I'm like, I was just thinking of you. And I do that with intention. I actually set it on my calendar to send out cards. I never think about to who. And then when I get into my app that I use to send all my cards out, I just write personal messages to everybody and send. Sometimes people get them twice. But I do that because I want people to know that I see you, I miss you, and I value our relationship. And y'all, last year when I was really down in the dumps, I didn't do it. I really missed it. Like I didn't have the energy to do any of it. And it was so curious because it wasn't like I received any in the mail either. So then I felt resentful. Then I had to reset my whole self and say, Kish, you didn't do that so that you can get kudos. You didn't do that because you wanted to receive anything. You did it because you knew that that would be a small burst of joy, an unexpected burst of joy in somebody else's day. And gosh, isn't it nice when you get that small burst of joy that makes your day from somebody in your crew? So I had to reset. So I'm back on it for the new year, okay? But I was in my feelings, y'all, last year. I'm telling y'all, I was in my bag. I was in my feelings. But now I am back because I realized that it is up to you to feed and care for the community that you place yourself in. It's not a solo job and it's not a one-way street. So you should be pruning and growing and planting and watching the reward of that happen. But sometimes you're going to have a bad seed in there. You're going to have to dig that thing out and toss it. But ensuring that you are well, your community matters. Your friends matter. There are so many of us that are lonely right now because we have decided that we don't need people. We have decided that we just going to stay in our phones and look at other people's lives and view it through 90-second intervals. We have decided that we don't want to make the effort to put on clothes and leave the house. We've decided that we don't want to make friends when we moved across the country. We've decided all of these things that keep us isolated and keep us unwell. But starting from where you are right now, small moments, the ones filled with laughter and inside jokes and heartfelt conversations, that's what life is all about. And when all the other aspects of your wellness wheel, your 5-star wellness plan are off, baby, that community wellness and well-being could pick you right on back up and put you back on that horse so that you can keep going. And if you're feeling really brave, invite them into a community wellness activity. Whether you go for a class to move your body, a book club. Look, the other day I saw, it wasn't even a paint and sip. It was a make cake and sip. There was a plant and sip. There's a lot of sippage, okay? Cheesecake and chill session. Those shared experiences can create bonds that last a lifetime. And you have to be able to nurture those relationships in every season of your life because, friends, life comes at you fast. And even though there might be some folks in your community where their time has come to an end, I bet you that there are folks waiting to be invited in. And I want you to focus on building, maintaining, sustaining, and growing a community that makes you feel well. All right, friend, that's a wrap on today's episode. And if you take nothing else away from this, remember this. It's not about how many things you check off your to-do list. It's about who you spend your time with and how much love and laughter and connection you invite into your life. Your people, my friends, are your wellness. Your circle is your strength. And I want you to go out there and nurture those darn relationships because you owe it to yourself to thrive. Now, before you go, Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. We are coming back for a whole full season of Management Made Easy. And I'm so glad you got to get a sneak peek into the flavor, into what we're going to be talking about, into what we care about. And if you're looking for even more tools to build intentional wellness into your life, check out my free resources on my website. I'll make sure that's linked in the show link at www.kashanapalmer.com. Grab my book, Busy is a 4-letter word, A Guide to Achieving More by Doing Less. And listen, friends, reach out. I'm here to help. Until next time, I'm Kashana Palmer, signing off. So go text your favorite human, and after that, take a nap. Doctor's orders. I'll see you soon, my friends.